Hi guys, happy Sunday. Let's imagine a scenario. You are outside enjoying a warm, sunny spring day with your friends and family, and the weather begins to change suddenly. The temperature drops, the wind begins to blow, and ominous clouds have formed in the sky above you. The next thing you know, the nearby tornado sirens are going off. Do you know what to do? Did you have any idea that the weather was setting up quite nicely for this event? What should you do? Should you find shelter nearby, or should you try to flee? If you choose to flee, which direction will you head? If you choose to find shelter nearby, what type of shelter are you looking for? These are likely questions that would have to be answered within a few seconds if you're in fact in a scenario such as this. Do you know enough about tornadoes to make an educated decision that may save your life and the lives of your friends and family? Being fascinated and passionate about severe weather, I find it important to share my passion with my audience and to also be able to educate them at the same time about tornadoes. We must first begin with the weather that acts as a causing factor in the development of a tornado to be able to identify weather phenomena that may suggest an event like this is occurring. After educating ourselves on what causes a tornado, we must then identify the different types of tornadoes and where they are likely to occur. Lastly, we are then able to use our newly acquired knowledge to make an educated decision on what is appropriate to do in the case of a tornado and what you should not do. Did you know that tornadoes form as a direct result of quickly changing weather patterns? Tornadoes are often a result of a thunderstorm that results from warm, humid air that rises in an unstable environment when it is bombarded by a cold front that causes the warm air to rise rapidly. The warm air tries to rise as the cold air moves and gets wedged in an upward direction, causing a tall cumulonimbus cloud that suggests a weather phenomena such as this just took place, cited by Lutyens and Tarbeck. The calm winds of the warm front and stronger winds of the cold front that rapidly push into the area begin to barrel roll parallel to the ground, so that's this direction. The updraft in the center of the barreling winds causes the mixing warm and cold air to tilt upward in a vertical direction. This is known as a mesocyclone. So the warm and cold air that's mixing in this direction begins to tilt like this, and we call this a mesocyclone. At this point, the mesocyclone is short and wide and rotating slowly within the cloud. Next, a narrowing column of rotating air stretches downward until a portion of the cloud protrudes below the cloud base, producing a very dark and slowly turning wall cloud. Finally, a slender and rapidly spinning vortex emerges from the base of the wall cloud to form a funnel cloud. If the funnel cloud makes contact with the surface, it is then classified as a tornado. The formation of a mesocyclone does not necessarily mean that a tornado is going to form. Only about 1/2 of all mesocyclones produce tornadoes, also cited for Lutyens and Tarbeck. We have talked about the weather phenomena that causes tornadoes. Now let's consider the different types of tornadoes that result and where they are likely to occur. This chart here shows the different EF scales that are used. So this is an enhanced Fujita scale. An EF0 is a tornado that causes light damage. And they estimate the damage based off the winds that they think occurred. So they do not have exact measurements of the winds. They just judge it by the damage that took place. So if there's missing shingles, they may say that an EF0 tornado went through the area. If there's complete devastation with a debris field that's miles wide, they would say that this was an incredible tornado and would classify it as an EF5, which had winds of 200+ miles per hour. Continental polar air from Canada may still be very cold and dry in the spring, whereas the maritime tropical air from the Gulf of Mexico is warm, humid, and unstable. These two contrasting air masses are most likely to meet in central U.S. because there is no significant natural barrier separating the center of the country from the Arctic or the Gulf of Mexico, and that's displayed in this map. This is the cold air from Canada, and this is the warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, and they meet right here because there's no big natural monuments or land formations that are going to stop these two air masses from mixing at this point. We have talked about the different types of tornadoes and where they are likely to occur. Now let's talk about what you should and should not do in the event of a tornado. What should you do or what shouldn't you do in the event of a tornado is what we're going to explore. First, we must know the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to form, but it also means that few storms still may be capable of producing a tornado. And that is cited by NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. A tornado warning means that a tornado is either occurring or imminent based on radar, and you should take cover immediately, also cited by NOAA. Looking back at our scenario, do not get in your car and try to outrun the tornado. Driving rain and winds creates low visibility, and you could be driving into the path of the tornado without even knowing it. Look for the nearest permanent shelter. Mobile homes will do little to protect you and may cause more injury because of flying debris. If there is a permanent structure nearby, go to the interior of the structure away from all windows and all doors. If there is no permanent structure nearby, lie flat in a ditch or depression. Cover your head with your hands. If you are able to find shelter, sit on your knees with your head on the ground in front of your knees and place your hands on the back of your head to protect your head from any flying debris. Now that we've talked about the weather that causes tornadoes and the types that result, as well as where they are likely to occur, we've also discussed what you should and should not do. Let's go back and recap what we've discussed. The development of a natural disaster such as a tornado is caused by the mixing winds between warm and cold air that has the potential to result in a tornado. Tornadoes are classified by the wind speeds they display and the damage that results. The majority of the tornadoes in the U.S. occur in the center of the country, where cold air from Canada mixes with the warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. In the situation of a tornado, it is important that you find permanent structure for shelter. If there is not nearby shelter, do not get into your car or a mobile home. That is not the way to survive a tornado. It is almost likely that you will die in the case of an EF5 tornado. Instead, you should get into a ditch and lie as flat as possible, making sure to cover your head with your hands. If you are able to find shelter, make your way to the interior, crouch to the ground, and cover your head in case there is flying debris. So let's go back to our scenario, and I'm going to ask everyone else what they would do. I hope you guys think long and hard, because it may be the difference between saving your life and death.
Very good.